I've got a half an acre in Cass County, Minnesota. My name is Miles McLaughlin here at Wilco Land. Rolling out a new property here with you today. In this video, I'm going to break down this listing. I'm going to cover a lot of common questions and FAQs. I'm going to teach you how you can go view the property on your own. Again, I'm going to, break down the property, teach you how to do some of your own due diligence as well. So just getting started, I want to give you a bird's eye view. This is a really nice area just south of Gull Lake here in Pillager, Minnesota. It's a nice flat half-acre property right here at Lake Placid. Some of the big selling points and benefits of owning this property is you're going to have there's really close public access points to Lake Placid. This would make a really good spot to maybe build a cabin, maybe park an RV, a campsite, just kind of a summer recreational property out here. Even a storage container to store snowmobiles, ice fishing gear, things like that. We see a lot of people find different ways to use these properties other than your traditional stick-built home. So if you're not looking to build a home, there's a lot of other ways to use property. Maybe it's a garage. This is a really good aerial view actually of the area. We can probably even identify our property on this map. I think it's right in here. But there's other ways to use property, right? This is going to give you really close access to Lake Placid here. And I'll show you where that access point is. So it looks like here's one right here, Crow Wing River, Lake Placid Reservoir, State Water Access Site. So here's one access point. Here's a property we're talking about right here. You can see here's a listing. If you want dimensions on it, you're probably looking at something about 35 yards wide at the street there. You can see other people have developed on similar properties. This is 0.46 acres. Somebody's built a home on that. Somebody's developed, it looks like maybe a mobile home, or a camper RV setup on 0.46 acres. So you can see other people are developing on similar properties. So that's an option. We see other people use these properties for camping, for storage containers, like I said, storing snowmobiles, ice fishing gear, summer stuff, honestly putting a gravel pad down and a boat and like a tiny home or a place just to spend the weekends during the summer with your camper, because camping is allowed out here on these type of properties. So there's a multitude of reasons and ways to use these type of properties. Again, looking at the property from a bird's eye view, you've got this one. You've got a lot of privacy. Actually, there's really no neighbors on each side of you, which is a huge benefit. If I zoom out, there's more. There could be another public access point somewhere out here. I'd have to play around on the maps a little bit, but we do have one really close to this property. And like I said, if you zoom in and zoom out, you can see here's a campsite. This is a watercraft campsite, so that's pretty cool. I'll pull it up on Google Earth and Google Maps, and you can see some more photos of the area. So you can see Big Water Cove. There might be a photo of that. This is an idea of somebody probably has an Airbnb, maybe a rental. Here's the woods at Lake Placid. So you can see, the reason I'm showing you this is to give you an idea of possible uses for your property. This is a cool area where people are building and developing, right? You can see there's a demand for that. It's a private little community right here over at Lake Placid, kind of a small, quiet little lake here. So there's some more photos. If I zoom in, you can see there's a lakefront property. This is kind of a cool, little access bridge here. I don't know if this is public access or not, but this is really cool. That strip of land, we'll look at it on maps in a minute. And then you've got that campsite here, Lake Placid Watercraft Campsite. Maybe there's a photo of it. I don't see it, but we might be able to see some photos if we just Google that. And the reason I'm showing you this is because I don't have any, this is Montana. I don't have any photos of the property itself. I haven't sent anybody out there yet. But you can see if we go on satellite imagery and we look at Onyx maps and we zoom in and look at this property, here's the bend in the road. We can see our properties right here as I zoom out. You can really get a good visual of this is what you can expect if you were to buy this property and develop on it. I think our lot sits probably right in, if I'm right, it probably sits right here maybe. Yeah, somewhere around there. So, this is what you can expect when you get out to the area. Hopefully it gives you a good depiction of what you're looking at, what you might buy for a land investment. We'll have a quick description here. There's going to be a ton of public access to nearby lakes and recreation. Just recapping what we've talked about already. It's in Cass County, Minnesota. If you want to go visit the property, all you have to do is plug these GPS coordinates into Google Maps. You can go pull up in your car off Google Maps. It'll bring me right to the property. You can see if I zoom in right here, it'll bring you right to the front of the property. It's about 35 feet wide. You can look at, our Google Earth imagery here. We'll have all of this shared, and you can see natural features in the landscape. So if you don't know how to use Onyx Maps, my favorite app for land viewings, I can measure this out. From this guy's driveway to the corner of our property is about 8 yards, okay? To the middle of our property, or the end of our property, I'll even say, is about 45 yards. You see how that lines up? These are approximations. If you don't see survey markers on the corner of the property, you can get a survey if you want. It's not going to be super expensive. But if and then even in the back corner, you can see somebody's got some development in this back corner. So that gives you an idea where if you were to walk through all this, walk all the way to the back and see the end of this property, we're just beyond that, right? So, these are ways you can look at land. These are ways you can put 2 and 2 together and figure out what you're looking at. My favorite app, when you go to land viewings, all you have to do is plug the coordinates in right here. It's going to bring you right to our property. I have the Minnesota private land ownership layer on this app. I have the elite version of Onyx Hunt, but this outlines the property for me. So when I'm walking the property, I'll actually see the little dot on my phone tracking me around the property to show me where I'm at. So, keep that in mind. This is my favorite app for land viewings, like I mentioned. And so those are my suggestions for the property. If you're interested in what the zoning is, what are potential uses for the property, we've got the zoning linked right here, shoreland residential. You can click and read more information about shoreland residential with Cass County here on the land use ordinance. So that's a good resource as well if you're interested to what a person can do on a property like this. But what I'm seeing people do, they're building cabins, they're building, tiny homes, they're building barn dominiums, Morton buildings, shops with a living quarters up top. Even people are buying lots like that, laying some gravel down, they're parking their pontoon, and they're creating a campsite for the family on the weekend. So, there's a lot of ways you can, take a property, right? It's a long-term legacy land investment, first and foremost. It's going to run in the family for generations to come. And a property like this, you can put a pretty small amount of money into it, clear some trees, clear some space. You've got a really sweet private campsite for you to use, close to lake access at Lake Placid, really close to Gull Lake on a map. There's going to be power in the area. That would be the least of my concerns. When it comes to getting water and septic, contact a local well company, contact a local septic company. They can provide you probably some quotes on drilling a well and getting a septic system. But, for the most part, this looks like a pretty nice neighborhood, really nice property out here in Cass County, Minnesota. So, I've touched on the majority of things for this property. If you have questions, give our sales team a call. We do have other listings in Minnesota. We've got some stuff up by Duluth. We've got some stuff, really all over the United States. Along the Mountain West, the Intermountain West, and all the way out in the West Coast, Minnesota, South Dakota, places like that, Montana. So hop on the website, give it a gander, give us a call if you have questions. You can reach us here at 605-299-5553. Thanks for tuning in.